Hello and welcome back to another video. The day is January 8th, 2 days after the last video, so recording these videos in quick succession. Today is Thursday, January 8th, and today is a push day. So like I said, today's a push day, so that will be the workout that you're going to see later in the video. So finally good to change it up, not a leg day anymore, but the last video that I recorded was also a leg day, the lower day on Tuesday, and it was a very successful leg day. Like I talked about that day, about preparation for the gym. That was the main talking point of that video, and I showed how having this good preparation that I talked about, the big three, sleep, hydration, fueling, led to a great workout. Now, today's Thursday, and I'm looking to do the same thing. Yesterday I had a rest day, so today is Thursday, it's a push day, and like I said in the last video, I've had good sleep, almost 8.5 hours, great hydration today, throughout the day, and fueling, which I'm also gonna have my pre-workout carbs like I talked about. I'm going to have them again. So, yeah. Today, what do I want to talk about? I want to talk about workout splits. The splits that I'm currently running and the splits that I've ran throughout my lifting journey and how they've developed over time and what I like best. What I like best about each split, or what I like best about the current split, why I'm doing it, things like that. So, taking it back a few years, when I first started lifting, I was a freshman in high school. I didn't really take lifting serious until sophomore year, middle of sophomore year, maybe later sophomore year. So when I first started going to the gym, it was with a friend who introduced me to the gym, and we were working out together. We weren't really doing any specific split. It was just, little bit of this, little bit of that, because we were still very new to the gym, very inexperienced. So, that's another thing. Throughout my lifting journey, I've went through a lot of trial and error, and that's going through trial and error how you are able to learn things. And that's the best way to go about it in order to, develop as a lifter, is to just try things. Like I said in the first video, one of my main ideas in terms of lifting is you shouldn't just listen to what people have to say. You should listen to what they say with a grain of salt. Try it for yourself. See if you like it. Don't automatically do something just because someone who's in a better position than you, someone who's bigger than you, leaner than you, whatever, don't just do something because they say it's good. Yeah, sure, they have that experience, but they have that experience because they tried it themselves and it worked for them. Lifting is not one size fits all. That's, simply to bottom line it. However, going back to the main talking point, the first split that I ever ran that I can be, safely say, okay, this was my first split, was push-pull legs. So push-pull legs, rest. That's a 6-day split with one rest day. Now, push-pull legs is probably the most popular split in the world, and I absolutely think that push-pull legs is a great split. It was a great split to start with, for me personally, and it is a split that I would even consider running right now. Push-pull legs is objectively a great split. So you're doing push, chest, shoulders, triceps. You're doing pull, back, biceps, rear delts if you want to throw it in, depends how you do it, and legs. Push-pull legs gives you enough frequency in terms of hitting every muscle group twice per week, which is great. However, it only gives you one rest day, which is great for some people. For me, throughout the last few years, I've always been taking one rest day a week about. So push-pull legs is definitely a great split. As I said, it gives you enough frequency, but one of the negatives, one of the drawbacks is that it can be detrimental, so to speak, to your arm growth, your arms. When you're hitting push-pull legs, you're hitting chest and then triceps. You would not start with triceps, then go to chest, because then you would be weaker on your chest movements. So by the time a lot of people get to triceps or biceps, if they're hitting back first on the pull day, they're not necessarily as fresh as they were for the chest and back portion of the lift. So this can lead to, being weaker on those movements, which is fine to an extent because, that's just how lifting works. You're not going to be as strong on set 6 as you are on set 1. That's just how it is. But a lot of people, unfortunately, half-ass the arm portion of the workout, or they do less volume just because the workout's getting too long. You know what I'm saying? And I was definitely, a lot of people are definitely susceptible to that, and I was definitely one of those people that, unfortunately, my first few years in the gym, I noticed that my arm growth was not on the same rate as my chest, back, legs, anything like that. So push-pull legs, though, I cannot have any complaints about it. It is a great split. Moving on, what I ran next, and this is an idea that, like I said, I took an idea from an influencer, from someone on YouTube, and I tried it myself, and I loved it. this was the Sam Sulek split, or the half bro split, which is a 4-day split. Chest, back, arms, legs. So in essence, this is a push, well, this is not necessarily a push-pull legs. This is like the Arnold split, which is chest, back, arms, legs, except the chest and back days are split. So chest has its own day and back has its own day. And then day 3 is arms, day 4 is legs. This split, I saw Sam Sulek doing it and I said, let me try it for a little bit. I loved this split. This split is great because it gives you a full day to focus on chest, a full day to focus on back, and a full arm day, which brought my arms up massively. And of course the leg day. 2 problems with this split. One is that if you want 2 times frequency per week, you will not be taking any rest days. Not taking rest days, or you'll be taking 1 a week, but then you're not getting that 2 times frequency. You need a rest day. Hitting upper body 3 days in a row like that is taxing on the system, and I started to realize at some point that, okay, this may not be optimal for me as I'm not getting enough rest. I'm oftentimes going into the gym hitting arms and they're not fully fresh, or I'm hitting things like that. However, it is a great split, and the best thing about the split, it's super, super, super fun. Hitting a chest day on its own or hitting a back day on its own is amazing. You finish the workout, you're super, super pumped. You get a great pump check going, you got all the blood in there. It's amazing. It really is. For that sense, it's amazing. The arm day, though, however, was a little boring. I think that's fair to say. But the main problem with this split is not enough frequency, and you're kind of forced into not taking rest days just because you're if I'm hitting chest and then my next chest day is I have 3 full days of rest. So I'm going to recover. My chest will not be sore. However, I will have systematic fatigue that accumulates over the multiple days in a row of lifting, which, is not negligible. So this is a split that I ran up until, even through the start of this bulking phase, I ran this split, chest, back, arms, legs. And like I said, it's a great split. It's a quote-unquote bro split, but I feel like it's a little bit more refined than the traditional bro split. So if I had to personally rank the splits that I've done so far in my life, I would definitely say push-pull legs number 1, chest, back, arms, legs 2. It is fun, but it's not as optimal as push-pull legs. That's objectively true. And lastly, what am I on now? My favorite split so far that I've ever done. It's 5 days on, 2 days off. From Monday to Sunday, it's as follows. Upper, lower, rest, push, which is today, Thursday, pull, legs on Saturday, and then rest on Sunday. So it's a Wednesday, Sunday rest. So you're doing upper, lower, rest, PPL, rest. This split has been amazing. When I first heard about people doing upper days, I was like, what do you mean upper? You're hitting your entire upper body? Is that not ridiculous? But once I started getting into it, I realized that, wow, this is a great split. It gives you the best frequency, and you have great rest time between, and hitting legs twice a week is as difficult as it is. It's really, really necessary. And this split gives you a lot of recovery too. So I've noticed a lot of gains that I can probably attribute to the split, at least partially, besides the hard work factor. What do I want to emphasize about this split? Upper, lower, push-pull legs. On the upper day, I'm only doing 2 to 3 sets per muscle group. So I'm doing 3 sets of chest in total. And then for back, I'm doing 3 sets of back in total. Or biceps and triceps, I'm doing 2 sets of biceps, 2 sets of triceps. So what does that mean? Only doing 2 to 3 sets per muscle group means that every single set that you do has to be your absolute all. You have to give it your absolute all. You have to go into every set with respect. You have to go into every workout with respect. And you have to realize that, okay, I only have, 1 chance at this. You're doing 2 sets. But let's say I only have, each set you have to go into the mindset of saying, I only have 1 chance at this. I can't miss. I can't miss the set. I can't miss, I can't not give it my all because I don't have a chance to make up for it with another 3 sets of junk volume, if you know what I'm saying. This split really makes you focus on every single set and go, yeah, I have to kill this. I don't have a choice. I have to kill it. There is no doubt that it's changed my mindset in terms of lifting, and it's made me think, yeah, I don't have junk volume to do. I have to make sure that every single set I do is damn near perfect. And this incorporates to what I said in the last video in terms of mindset of going into the gym and thinking, yeah, I don't have that much volume to do. So whenever I'm going a set, this is the way I think about it is before a set, I'm always going to take a few seconds. In addition to having a great song going in my ears that is going to get me hyped, loud music. I'm also going to take a few seconds. I'm going to sit there. I'm going to think to myself. I'm going to put it through my head. I'm going to manifest what I'm doing. I'm going to think about what I'm about to do. I'm about to do a heavy set of dumbbell press. I'm going to sit there. I'm going to think. I'm going to get myself hyped in my head. I might even let out a few grunts like, get ready to go. And it definitely adds emphasis to the set. And then once you go into the set, you just have to give it your all. And that's simply how it is. With a split like chest, back, arms, legs, maybe you get a little bit, if I don't have the greatest set of chest, it's okay. I still got 5-6 more sets to go that day. I'll make up for it. With this split, it's like, if I have a bad set, I don't have time to make up for it. You can't miss. Simply put, that's what it is. And I feel like that's one of the most important things, just in general, when considering your mindset of going into a set. One more thing that I'm going to mention is tracking workouts. Now, I did not start tracking workouts until just about over a year ago. And why would I track workouts? When you're in a bulking phase, mainly, you could also, gain strength in a cutting phase. But when you're in a bulking phase, mainly your goal is to gain strength, because gaining strength equals gaining muscle, relatively, right? It's not necessarily one-to-one, but how can you track your workouts? You either do it on a phone, or me personally, I'm a little bit more old school, so a lot of people may not like this, but I track my workouts in a notebook, a little bit more traditional. So I'm writing down each set that I'm doing, each rep that I'm performing. So, incline dumbbell 85s for 6 reps, and each week I'm looking back at it and I'm saying, okay, last week I did, for example, in my situation today, last week I did on the incline dumbbell press, I did 85s for 6 on New Year's Day. Today, January 8th, a week later, I'm going to do the same exercise, and I'm going to go for 7 reps. I'm going to go for 8 reps. I'm going to try to progress by 1 or 2 reps. Once I get my rep range that I personally do is 6 to 8 reps-ish, maybe 9 sometimes. Once I get to that certain point where I'm getting 8, 9, I'll go, okay, I up the weight, and then I'll get 6. That's fine. The next week, I'll get 7. Progressive overload. If you're not familiar with the term, I can definitely, try to explain it more in another video. But progressive overload and tracking your workouts is something that's really important on a bulk. And it really ties into the split that you're doing, because on a split like PPL upper lower, I'm able to progress relatively, almost every week I'm able to progress. Just because of the nature of how much recovery the split gives me, and, the fact that I'm cutting my volume by a lot compared to what I used to do. So, like I said, push-pull legs or upper-lower PPL, it doesn't really matter which way you do it. Upper-lower rest, PPL rest, or PPL rest, upper-lower rest. It's really the same thing. I would say it just depends on your schedule. I personally did upper-lower rest, PPL rest during this year because I prefer to have a Wednesday rest day than a Thursday because of my personal schedule. That's the details. Whatever. The point is, the splits are important. Of course they are. But what does it all boil down to? It all boils down to your mindset going into every set. If you're like me, if you want to get bigger, if you want to gain muscle, if you want to progress every single time you go into the gym, you have to have a positive mindset, and you have to have a mindset where you're saying, yeah, I have to do this. I have to, sounds crazy, but I got to put my life on the line for this set. I got to make sure I give it every single ounce that I got. And, that can be debated. A lot of people talk about in the fitness industry, reps in reserve. I don't dwindle in any of that. I just go to failure. I'm going to absolute failure, and I'll get partial reps if I want to, I'm sure you've seen throughout the videos. But anyway, that's it for today in terms of the little chat. Push-pull legs upper lower is my favorite split that I've ever done so far. Push-pull legs would be second. Actually, I did run push-pull legs Arnold split, which is the same thing as push-pull legs, except the second half of the week is the Arnold split, which is chest and back, arms, legs. I did run it two or three summers ago, and it was fun too. But I would say that upper lower push-pull legs is the best way to go about it. But again, to reiterate, the split is the split. It's all about right here and how you're going into a set and what you're going to do in the gym. And the harder you go, the more gains you're going to have. All the science aside, that's really all it comes down to. However much you want it is how it's going to be. So I'm going to go in there, hit push. I'm really focused on progressing today. I'm really excited for it. So I'll be sure to record some sets, probably not as much as the previous videos, just because it might be a little more packed in there today, but I will definitely get some videos of the sets, and I'm going to go in there, I'm going to smash it.
Yeah, you can pull it tight. You
And that is it. There we go. Push day is complete. It was an amazing workout. What can I say? I'm getting happy just thinking back at it. But I showed most of the sets. As always, the full workout is in the description. And what you saw was the 2 heavy sets of pressing at the start. The first set, incline dumbbell with the 85s. I was able to PR on what I got last week, so 7 reps this time after getting 6 last week. And even the second set with the 80s. Last week on the second set with them, I got 6. This time I got 7. So what can I say? Progressed on damn near every set, and it was an amazing pump, amazing workout, amazing sweat. So I'm about to have the post-workout meal right now of some chicken, rice, tzatziki sauce on it, and a bagel with cream cheese. As always, like I said, the workout is in the description. And speaking of food, next video will likely be next week. Will be a full day of eating. So full day of eating on the bulk, currently eating 4,000 calories, peak bulk 140 2 days in. So that will be the next video. It'll be a good one, I can assure you with that. But for now, I'm going to rest up, get ready for pull tomorrow. And thanks for watching.